So a couple weeks ago, I think it was a couple weeks ago, we were talking about title insurance and how Biden is trying to reduce some of the costs for title insurance on refis. Is that right, Olivia?
Yeah, so during his State of the Union address, he announced that he was going to try to keep buyers' closing costs at a minimum, and they are looking at not making title insurance required on transactions, especially for refinances, because they feel that a lot of title insurance policies don't change that much during a refinance transaction. However, we've seen with quite a few refinances that we've done, there are things that other title companies have either missed when they went to close the original purchase transaction, or there was a lot of things that were found and filed after the homeowners did purchase the property. So title insurance is really important to protect homeowners, and there's two different types of policies. And so with this new bill that they're trying to pass, they're trying to not make title insurance required, but title insurance is very important to protect any chain of title defects, unfiled liens, anybody else that might have title to the property. So we know how important title insurance really is, and we use it every single day.
Is there any situation where you can think of that title insurance isn't required?
So they could always choose not to have title insurance if they don't have a lender, if it was a cash transaction. However, our purchase contracts do have it in there already that they will be that the seller will be furnishing title insurance for the contracts that are kind of common out here in our areas, that it is already included in the purchase contract. But we ultimately have to give the buyer the decision if they want to choose the owner's policy or the homeowner's policy. So there are two different types of policies. If they're closing with a lender, they do have to have a policy because the lender wants to make sure that they're not going to have any issues after closing with their mortgage or anything, if anything was found. So if there's a mortgage, it's always required, but giving them the option between the basic and the homeowner's policy, I think is the most important. And so what I've been teaching agents and clients is to know the difference between the two policies. So the owner's policy covers 8 different defects in the title, where the homeowner's policy, which is the best type of policy, it's also called the Eagle policy, has 32 covered risks. So the question that I get a lot is there's a lot of information right now going on about title lock and, do I need to have extra insurance if my deed were to get transferred from out underneath me? It is covered under the homeowner's insurance if the deed ever did get changed or somebody took a fraudulent deed to the courthouse and got it recorded, then that would be protected under the homeowner's insurance policy, but it is not a covered risk under the owner's policy, which is the basic policy. So that's just one difference right there that I think it's really important for buyers and agents to know the difference and make sure that they are getting that homeowner's insurance policy if they want it at closing.
So to clarify then, if I was to refinance and I had a policy in place from when I bought the house and now I refinance, does that policy follow me with the refinance?
That's a really good question. So yeah, what you could do is if you weren't using the same title company, you could provide that title insurance from when you purchased the property, and then they could use that, do an update, and then give you a discount at closing for that because they don't have to run the full exam. Just like we do that on normal purchase transactions, if the seller is selling the house within 10 years of originally purchasing it, they can also get that reissue rate credit at closing. So it's all about communicating, I think, with your title officer, your escrow team, and letting them know that they do have the policy and see what reissue rate credit they can get if possible. And it's also important to note that the homeowner's insurance policy, which is that Eagle policy, the best one, covers pre and post closing items. So if there was an issue from 2 or 3 transfers ago where a previous title company did not pay off a mortgage, then the homeowner's policy would cover that. Whereas the owner's policy only covers after closing defects.
Kind of explain what attorney's opinion of title is, and is that very? I know the answer to this, but
Let's everybody say, no, thank you. Okay, go Olivia.
is that, I guess, is that insurable?
So that's kind of what Biden is going towards, is allowing attorney opinion letters and not having title insurance. So basically an attorney opinions letter, there are some areas in Ohio that still do them, but they are not common. So what the attorney does is the attorney essentially acts as the examiner and researches everything on, their behalf. So they're searching the county records, they're checking Medicaid, they're checking and making sure that they think everything is clear. If so, they're going to say, hey, this is the attorney opinion letter. This is what is telling you that I believe that you are getting clear title at closing. The issue becomes if something was missed. There's not a national backed underwriter there to essentially file the claim, pay out the claim. So that's what can be really dangerous, is if there is a claim on an attorney opinion letter, how that proceeds versus being closed under a national backed underwriter.
And let's say something happens to that attorney that, wrote this letter. I mean, they go out and get killed. I mean, you're basically going to fall back on that attorney's E&O insurance. I don't know. It just seems pretty sketchy to me.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. Attorney's opinion letters in our area have been common. Not as common as they used to be, but when I started in the business, that was what you did. And the problem is, there's, like Olivia said, there's nothing to back that. Now, here in town, 3 of the 4 attorneys that were pretty common to do that have all retired. So who do you go back if you find a problem? Their businesses
Exactly.
are closed. They've moved on. So you have nobody to go back and say, oh, you missed this. Now what? You're on your own. So,
Mhm.
I understand, but the weird thing is it's all in an effort to save money. They're not
Yeah.
that much cheaper.
They're not.
No. So
Yeah,
I don't know
for
if I'd want to save a few dollars, to take the risk of somebody coming back and saying, oh, wait, there's still a lien on this property.
I heard an agent say the other day, and I'm not going to say who, but this agent just said, we're just glorified paper pushers. Well, a lot of agents are. If they're not educated on what everything their clients have to go through to buy a house, then, they're right. You are just a glorified paper pusher. But if you educate yourself and you help your clients understand every step of the process, then you're a lot more than just an agent. You're their agent, you're their counselor, you become their friend by the end of the process. So I think it's very important to educate yourself as much as you can on all the facets of buying a house.
Yeah, tuned to remember you because you taught them so much and they look to you for advice. Where, are there some agents that do that? Absolutely. And I can tell, because then when issues come up, they're like, why is the title company requiring this? That was a comeback last week. It's like, why? Because you don't understand what title insurance even is. That's why. Like paying off a mortgage, like you have no idea. You just have no idea. So It's very important, and it makes your life easier and it makes the buyer's life easier because they're not calling and asking a million questions, because this is part of the process at the beginning that you explain or that we explain.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. Heather, if someone wants to get more information on a mortgage, how do they get in contact with you?
They can reach me on my cell at 517-462-8811, or reach out to any Howard Hanna agent and they can share my phone app with you as well.
And Kim, if someone is interested in becoming a real estate agent with Howard Hanna, how do they get in contact with you?
Okay. Looking for good agents, good people. My number is 419-966-6000. Give me a call or text me anytime. Be happy to meet and tell you a little bit more.
So Olivia, if anyone is looking for some title work done or have some title questions or title needs, how do they get in contact with you?
You can always call and reach out. I'm Olivia with Erie Title. My phone number is 419-279-3293. My email is olivialewis@erietitle.com. You can call and ask questions, or we always have legal attorneys as well that if they need anything during the closing transaction, then they can step in and help as well.
Okay. All right. That wraps up. I will talk to you guys in a couple weeks.
Thanks,
Sounds
Brian.
good. I'll see you at the meeting tomorrow.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Have a great day, guys.